Tim, what's going on? Welcome to the show, brother.
I'll be good, but let's talk. You want depression? Let's go history. By the way, I know I'm the second oldest caller into this thing. Schools you must hate. Let's get this straight. Who's cost us a ton of titles? Let's start with the number one, USC. Then you move down to Florida State. There's not a fan. How do you overlook the Florida State game? All you got to say is 93. I don't care what year you're born. That was a travesty. Then you go to Boston College. Then you go to Michigan. This all ties into my whole point why I wanted to call. Seeding. If you break this down, we could be royally screwed.
So
let's break it down, John. There's 12 seeds. Okay. The top four are locked into. How are you going to feel? The top two, you know how this is going to break down every year. The winner of the SEC or the Big Ten is going to take the number 1 and 2 seeds. Boom, boom, right off the top. Assuming there's no upsets, because you can compare this to college basketball. Those are the two. Then you got the other two. So let's go the Florida State route this year. Let's hypothetically say we beat them and they get a couple losses in the ACC, but they win the ACC title game. They could be a 3 or a 4 seed. They're guaranteed it. And we haven't even talked about the Big 12 or whatever the Big 12 became, okay? This is all about winning a title. I want one more title before God calls me home, please. So basically, and then you know how they're going to do it with the Big 2 conferences. They're going to take the 5 and the 6 seed. So there's only 2 spots to host a game left. That's 7 and 8. That's it. We've got to go 12 and 0. 11 and 1. We're not getting a 7 and 8. We're going to have to go to damn Michigan, and I'll cancel Christmas. I'll go to Mass. I'll cancel Christmas.
You really
wait and lose that?
Wait. I would like to think an 11 and 1 Notre Dame is in position to be able to host one of those home games. I would think an 11 and 1 Notre Dame, after those automatic seeds go out, should be in position to be able to host. You don't agree? Even at 11,
an upset, John.
Even at 11 and 1.
If there's an upset, it's going to get dicey. It'll be like selection show with NCAA basketball. You know, when you dominate a conference for the whole year and then you lose in your conference tournament and then get in, and it affects seeding.
Yeah. Man,
I had too much on my hand. I started thinking this down. When I see how they're going to play out these seeds, I'm going, we're screwed. Because they're going to try to force it down to get us into a conference. And that's the other thing I sent you about that. You want tears. Watch that thing with that. It looked like Moses doing this thing, but that was depressing. Turn us down 4 times. Are
Tim,
you kidding me?
I don't. Here's what I struggle with. The difference in Notre Dame's playoff path between hosting a cold weather home game at Notre Dame Stadium versus on the road at Michigan or on the road at LSU, anything like that. That is night and day. Those are so, when you build the intensity of the playoff game into all this, the difference between having that at home and the things you can control and feel good about there versus having to travel, it is night and day for me, man. That is a big, big deal.
Huge. We got to get that. No, the only way we can control that is go 12 and 0, John. But you can see how they're going to slate this. Even if we are 12 and 0, that's debatable because everybody's saying our schedule's this year. Okay, they're already going to slate that in. There's 2 conferences running this whole damn thing, so they're going to lock up the top 6 seeds easily. And what's that do to you? It's all about seeding because you're not getting your second round. We got to win 4. Everybody, see, that's what this all boils down to. What Notre Dame, I think, is happy with now is just getting in. It's never about winning it all again. And I think that's what's the most depressing thing to me.
Well, now wait, you got it, but wait,
winning the 4.
The way I look at it is, you got to do one before you can do the other. Do you get what I mean? Like I gotta worry about us making it and being a part of it before I worry about what we do in it. I got to make sure we're in it. So like those are connected.
No, we got to go right. But now you can go 11 and 1. I think we have to go 12 and 0. We go 12 and 0. At worst, we're a 6 seed. We go 11 and 1. We're going to be rolling the dice, going, are we 6, 7, or 8? More than likely, probably 8 if we're lucky. But to screw Notre Dame, you know what they'll do to us. They'll put us 9 and they'll send us to Ann Arbor because you know that Kimmy's not going to like us.
Yeah.
And will you lose your mind? If we go up to Michigan and lose, can you imagine the call show after that one?
No, I don't even want to think about it. All right. Now, let me ask you this. This is where my mind went, and somebody else put it in the chat. Let me bring this up to you. I got a feeling, especially with the expanded Big Ten and the expanded SEC, I think more teams in like the Big Ten aren't going to go 11-1. I think you're going to find more people with 2 losses, or I just don't think it's as easy to go 11-1 now that there's more teams in the mix and a more well-rounded schedule, and you can't just feast on the northwestern side of the bracket like whatever it used to be.
I agree, John, but this is going to come. It's not about the number of wins and losses. This is going to be about how they're going to slate them. If you, let's say you play in the conference championship game in the SEC and the Big Ten. The winner gets the 1 or the 2 seed. Guess who gets the 5 and the 6 seed? The runner-ups. Even if they have 2 losses or 3 losses.
I'm not sold on that. I'm not sold on that. You're going to, because then oh man, that's tough. Because then you got to pick between an 11-1.
I gave you the Florida story. I gave you the Florida State story, John. How are we going to feel if Florida State has 2 to 3 losses and we beat them head to head on the field and they're a higher seed than us?
Yeah. And again,
and they're hosting.
Again, Tim,
and their path's easier than ours.
Again, you bring up a really interesting point because we don't know how this is going to look. And there's no evidence, there's no data, there's no metrics. Right now, we have no idea to know how this is going to play out, what the slotting is going to look like, it's all one grand experiment. And I just want to be a part of the first data set as a baseline. And then we'll get more into like what you need to do when you're in it. But you need to be a part of the first data set here and be able to get a feel of how this is going to go. But I do think with the expansion of the Big Ten, the expansion of the SEC, it's going to be harder to go 12-0 and 11-1 in those conferences from now on. I really do think that. And so I don't know I don't know how that hurts or helps Notre Dame, but I'm interested in figuring it out.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If I agree with you, let's say you have a 1 to Big Ten. Let's go to 2 power conferences, the SEC and the Big Ten, and in their title games, you have maybe one of them has an undefeated team, and their second place team has 2 losses. That's the scenario. And undefeated, you don't think they're not going to slate the loser of that game? Let's say they upset. Let's say a team with 2 losses finishes second in the SEC, and they upset an undefeated team that comes in. Let's say Georgia's undefeated and Alabama comes in with 2 losses. They upset them. You don't think that's a 5 seed? Let's start calculating. They're going to slot the runner-up in those big conference tournament is the 5 and the 6 seed. So that only leaves us 2 spots to host.
Man,
if that's our goal, break this down mathematically. You can see how this is going to play out. It's like college basketball. You know how many times I sweated on a March Sunday to get into the NCAA tournament with the men's basketball program? That's what this is going to break down into. And let's go 12-0. If we go 12-0, then I think we should be locked into host. If we're not, then something's really screwy. But we've gotten screwed a lot of times over. How about the lacrosse team that didn't get in, and then we went on a 2-year run?
Yeah.
And this is the bigger job. This is the one that matters the most. I don't think that's what people are not getting. And you know what? Let's have a blizzard storm roll through November, because they froze when they came up in '93. They were all in their big heavy coats. Let's get a freestone in November. So for Thanksgiving, let's have a big snowstorm roll through.
Tim, you know what, man? You're not helping me calm down any of my anxiety with any of this. You are not helping, my friend. My blood pressure's rising.
I'm an old man. You got a lot more years to have a shot to win this. I don't have that many.
But you already got a couple in your pocket that I don't have. That's a give and a take.
I agree.
You already got a couple in your pocket, Tim, and I want to know what that's like.
And you don't think I don't? No, I 100% agree with you.
Oh, man. So this is one big experiment. And then once you have a data set on what you think the 12-teamer is going to look like, they're going to go to 14 and it's all going to change anyways. So I don't know how it's going to go, Tim, but you got to go. I would like to see where 11-1 Notre Dame falls. I want to see where an
Well,
11-1 Notre Dame gets slotted. If that ain't good enough to host a home game, I don't know what to tell you. Have fun in Ann Arbor.
Thing I saw, John, projection. I've seen some people saying we might have a shot to lose to Georgia Tech. That scares the hell out of me.
I've seen that as
That's not a team I'd put.
I've seen that as a sleeper game. A lot of people have circled that know that people aren't expecting. The one benefit is it's at the neutral NFL stadium, their little place at night or whatever it'd be. I think having it at the Dome actually helps Notre Dame in that regard. But I've seen that mentioned as a sneaky game too.
And not back to my ego. I don't have a high one, but it also ties into this, the East Coast, West Coast thing. If we had done a week 0, got a game under our belt before we got to go to A&M. But now what do we, and they also stack it where we don't have all these night games. This year, the schedule sets up with the times because they did announce us. When we play those night games, we don't roll back into South Bend until 3 o'clock in the morning. And what are we doing? I don't care if we, in 2012, we did it. How'd that work out? The goal is to get a seeding thing here. I think 12-0 sets us up to give us the best chance to win a title this year. It does. There's enough talent there. We have a shot. Let's not kill ourselves. We just didn't do the work. I get the history of 100 years, but that should have been 0. And if Army can't deliver, then we'll see a 101-year anniversary. We should have gone week 0, get us more experience. That's still going to tick me off. And I hope to God I'm wrong. If we go East Coast to West Coast, then I'm wrong. And I hope to God I am. But the goal is to put yourself in the best position to win. That's what I don't get, what people don't get.
Yeah.
Where am I wrong? I can improve when I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong.
I don't listen.
Why don't they argue back with me?
I get what you're saying. I want to see how the records change in the two big conferences now that it's more of a round robin and all that. I just think more teams are going to catch more losses, and that could help balance out some of what you're saying. But I don't know. So we got to see. But I got a feeling there's going to be way more teams with more than 0-1 losses than we're used to in those conferences.
But I think it's just going to come down to,
we'll see.
I agree, but it's going to come down to you win it. It's like that. You win it, you're in the two big boys. And if you run it up, that's 4 of your top 7 seeds.
Yeah.
No matter what your win-loss record is.
It's going to be interesting, man. We need to be a part of it. So just make sure you're a part of it and we'll see where it falls. But I'm telling you, you're going to end up somewhere down the road here with an LSU or a Michigan situation. And it is going to be a big damn deal. And I don't know when it's going to happen, but our paths are going to overcross with those two at some time. And it's going to be wild. Anything else, Tim? Thanks for the energy. I can always count on you.
Take care.
I can always count on you for the energy, Tim. Go have a beer or something. Relax. Would you?
Well, no, I'm depressed, John.
Yeah.
Because I had too much time. I was like, it was kind of slow there. Baseball was going okay. I was like, I started doing the math on this, going seeding and going, wait a minute, this could be all kind of bad. Because you're going to have a call-in show if Florida State is 2 seeds higher than us, with 2 or 3 losses, and we just that brings back nightmares of '93.
Yeah,
we dominate them on the field. We're not going to be annoyed.
Yeah, but I'll worry about that when it happens. And so, it is a concern.
No. All right, now we got to end on this point. This is my last point.
Okay.
We have to go beat A&M.
Oh, yeah.
We cannot lose that game. It'll be, you imagine yourself, I'll be good. I will not call you that night because I would, I have no cuss words. I would have every other word would be a cuss word out of my mouth.
Tim, never change. Okay, man. Never change. Always stay you. All right.
Yeah, we got to win. Please say an extra couple Hail Marys, light a candle at the grotto that we get that opening win so Tim stays alive.
I'll do that, man. Have a good day. Take care.
Take care.